Fitin 10. It is day 10 of the Fitin 10 challenge. And I don't think I've ever said 10 so many times in a row, except for maybe the last day 10 Fitin 10 video. Anyways, we had a super not so busy class today. We had what, 25, I want to say 25 people or so. It was a great class. It's a good vibe. I can see you guys are becoming more proficient and confident in your movements. It's only the beginning of week 2, so kudos to you. You're doing good. All right, let's get right to the message, not the message of the day. Let's get, I'm tired, you can tell. Let's get, I should have done this video earlier. Let's get to food of the day. And it's a fun one because this is one of my faves, and this is actually really one of my faves when I really have to start depriving myself. When I say deprive myself, I mean when I actually start going to like a real caloric deficit. AKA when I'm getting ready for a contest. That's really the only time I'll do it, because or else I just don't really have any motivation to get super duper lean. Anyways, it's not supposed to be about me. The product is nut and seed butter. I've already talked to you guys about this before. It's by Nuts for Nature. Let me just read the ingredients to you. Dry roasted nuts and seeds, which includes cashews, almonds, chia seeds, Brazil nuts, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and hazelnuts. This is super tasty. You can get it at Costco. I think it's better than natural peanut butter, and you know, this is obviously a source of fat. This is not a source of protein. Okay, yes, it's got protein in here, but you know, when we look at the majority of the energy, over 2/3 of the energy in here is fat. Okay, so this is a fat source. And speaking of fat, somebody asked me about, they want to know good sources of fat, all right? So here's another video where you're probably going to say to me, or you're going to say to yourself, this guy's an idiot, okay? But I'm not, because I'm telling you what we know today, and not what we knew back in the 50s, okay? And that is this. If you're looking for the best fats, well, it depends on what context you're looking at fat for, but generally speaking, your good fats are a very limited amount of polyunsaturated fats, which are basically just your omega-3s, okay? Pretty much, okay? Then you've got your monounsaturated fats, basically like nuts, avocados. Listen, no fat source is 100% anything. Well, that's not true. There are a few fat sources that are 100% one type of fat, but generally speaking, they're a mix of fats, okay? Then you've got your, like I said, you got your monounsaturated fats. So things like nuts, avocados, etc., okay? Then you've got saturated fat, which is, you know, found in things like coconut oil, to some degree, and certain vegetable oils, but probably to the largest degree they're found in animal product, okay? With the exception of coconut oil. Coconut oil is 100% saturated. Actually, animal fat is actually not mainly saturated. Animal fat is actually mainly monounsaturated, by the way. Okay, when I say mainly, I mean, sorry, it's over 50%, typically speaking. It's over 50% monounsaturated fat, okay? Anyways, I can already tell I'm not explaining this right. Here's what I want to say in a nutshell. There's nothing wrong with saturated fat. There is nothing wrong with saturated fat, and no, it's not causing you to die. Saturated fat's been around forever. There's nothing wrong with it. What hasn't been around forever are high amounts of polyunsaturated fats. There just hasn't been. Nobody was having things like sunflower seed oil or sesame seed oil, okay, or, you know, soybean oil. Those didn't exist until very recently. All right, and those are primarily polyunsaturated. And the reason why polyunsaturated fats are not really good for you, although we've been told that they are, is, well, for one reason they're not good for you is because they're highly unstable, because they are polyunsaturated. So by their name alone, they are highly unstable. They are open to oxidation. Okay? The fat that is the most stable fat, the best fat to cook with, is a saturated fat. It has no double bonds. It's completely saturated. It makes it the most stable fat out there. Okay? So we don't want oxidants in our body because oxidants are cancer causing. Okay? Now you have to remember where the whole myth of saturated fat came from. It came from Ansel Keys. Okay? Ansel Keys did the seven country study or whatever. The seven, I can't remember. I have to look it up again. Okay? But you can look it up yourself. Ansel Keys, and he was paid something like $200,000 in the 50s, which was a lot of money, still a lot of money today, to basically go and prove that, saturated fat was causing heart disease. And so, there you go. Confirmation bias right from the get-go, right? The conclusion's already drawn. Now go find the reasons for it. But, basically he made a correlation, but he essentially he couldn't prove it. He couldn't even show a correlation. So he had to leave certain data out to make the correlation work. And literally this myth, he was working for the government at the time, okay? So this went through the American government, and then the American government put it out there. This is why it stood for, or why it stood the test of time, and still stands today. That saturated fat causes heart disease, and it causes all this stuff. But the reality is there is actually no proof of this, okay? And if I'm wrong, then please show me the evidence, okay? But this is where this came from, all right? So when it comes to fat, saturated fat is okay. Monounsaturated fat is okay. Stay away from your polyunsaturated fats. Stay away from your vegetable oils, okay? Stay away from things like I said, safflower oil, sunflower oil, sesame seed oil, soybean oil, canola oil. The list goes on, okay? Stay away from vegetable oils. We never had high amounts of polyunsaturated fats in our diet. We never did. We ate things like, nuts, and avocado and animal meat, and that's primary. Most of those are either saturated or they're monounsaturated. They're not polyunsaturated. Okay, so stay away from polyunsaturated. Those are the most unstable fats. How many for time? 7:30? What? I don't know what's going on. Okay. Message of the day. What is the message of the day? Oh, I didn't write it down. Luckily, I remember. Message of the day is this. You cannot find time, you must make time. You cannot find time, you must make time. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. You cannot find time, you must make time. You can't tell me that I couldn't find time to do something, because you know what? You can't. It's not an excuse. You have to make time. So maybe that means you have to get up half an hour earlier to do your half an hour cardio. Okay? Or maybe it means you just have to be more efficient at doing certain tasks. That is my numero uno nemesis. I can be super inefficient. I can drag my heels. Usually it's when I'm tired, but... anyways, getting back to you. You need to make the time to do the things that are important to you. And one thing that is important to you is to get your 3 weight training sessions in per week, plus your 3 cardiovascular sessions in per week, right? So make time for it, please, all right? You got to submit and commit to this challenge. You got to just submit yourself. Don't dip your feet in the water. You got to dive in and you got to swim, okay? You just got to just envelop yourself in it. Don't fight it. Don't pretend you don't know. It's all in your manual. I am here for you. Martina's here for you. Your peers are there for you. We're all here for you. Your Slack community is there for you, okay? Let's make it happen. Okay? Positive energy, positive vibes. Give some gratitude, and for the love of God, believe in yourself. You should. There is no reason. Oh, which reminds me, you need to send me your feedback. Send me your feedback for the love of God. Only 20 people sent me their feedback, and there's 65 of you. So that means 45 of you. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're watching. I don't know where your head's at. But you need to go to your macro email, scroll towards maybe 2/3 down, and you're going to see a link there for you to provide me with your feedback. So click on that little link, fill out that electronic form and hit the submit button so I can read it and then, you know, get back to you, okay? All right. That's it, you guys. Day 10. I don't know which one whatever came from. Talk to y'all soon. Submit, commit. Do what you got to do. Be a good Fitin10 peer, good student. Be a good role model for your other peers. I'll talk to y'all soon. See ya.